Welcome to the Outlaw Mud Show Drive-In. My name is Joe O'Connor, and with me is Mohammed Fadi.
Hello, everyone. What a fantastic WrestleMania week it has been. Happy WrestleMania week. Happy end of WrestleMania. Happy Ramadan once again to all the Muslims out there, and to all the non-Muslims as well. It's all about celebration and good vibes. Let's.
That's right. And speaking of good vibes, to WrestleMania, unfortunately, was just as awesome as the first night of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to start by saying this. Usually, WWE, let's face it, SmackDown is pretty solid. Raw is not. But pay-per-views, generally WWE pay-per-views are enjoyable. Very rarely is there an awful pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
But you can, if you go through your pay-per-views and you're like, all right, this was entertaining, this was entertaining, this was entertaining. Every once in a while, you'll have one where you're like, wow, you know, that was really good. There were some pretty great matches on it. Last night and tonight, with the exception of maybe that one tag match that we spoke of on yesterday's episode.
I thought you hated, but compared to someone else, like it was completely fine by you.
Yes, with the exception of maybe one match.
Yeah. Out
of 14. I'm not saying the rest of the 13 were all 5-star classics,
but they were solid.
Both nights, they were all solid, and there were enough great matches and great moments. This here, for me at least, best WrestleMania since WrestleMania 30. This was a fantastic pay-per-view, great show. Easily, I'd have to calculate all of them, but right now I'm going to say top 10 Manias of all time. If you want to hear our night one thoughts, go back to the previous episode that we posted yesterday, earlier this afternoon. But night two, I was weary of. Damn, I pretty much loved this entire show. There were some things I was iffy on, like the Bray Wyatt versus Orton. First, I loved the appearance of both guys. I think Orton never really has a grand WrestleMania entrance, but he hasn't worn non-black trunks for quite a while. He used to wear them, quite a bit back in Evolution days, and
since post-Evolution, he has not worn any.
Yes, I think he stopped wearing them. I think he stopped wearing colored trunks right around the time he got injured in early 2008, like right before he started Legacy.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he still wore some.
I think he
during like his
some red on.
Yes, like some red.
Never wore white though.
Yeah, because he had like I can't recall white. He's had like red, orange, blue, purple. But yeah, I can't recall white, but he looked awesome in them.
Yeah.
The Fiend looked pretty awesome. He had a.
Speaking of which, Edge also wore white today.
And so did Biggie and Apollo Crews, and I think they all looked really awesome in their gear tonight.
Awesome, but I want to talk about the Edge of it all. Edge and Orton wearing matching ring gear. Could we be?
Yes, it was.
Reunion.
That's what John Marshall sent me a text about that, and he was like, "Hey, Orton and Edge are wearing pretty much the exact same colors as a Rated RKO thing." I don't think it is.
I don't think so, and I hope it's not. Honestly, it's just a hypothetical.
I hope it's not either, but I could see the two of them. Possibly not in kayfabe, but in real life, I could see the two of them being like, "Hey, let's do this just to fuck with people."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
But it could just be coincidence, also. I I've loved all of Edge's gear since since the beginning of the year. Like his one he wore at the Rumble, the stuff he wore on his match on Raw. This one here, I can't think there's another match. I think those are the only matches he's had. But
pretty much.
To me, they all look like cans of like Monster or Rockstar. Like they look like energy drinks. They look awesome. They have great designs.
He's telling us that he has limitless energy.
It could be. But yeah, the awesome gear. His Edge's trench coat was really awesome tonight too.
That was amazing. The tights were okay, but that coat was wow.
Yes.
And if he was evil or fully good, that would have been more epic. Like it would have been said. It would have said something that he's wearing white out there. It kind of got lost in the show.
White was a great color tonight, though. Like, it's a thing that they talk about this a lot on the major podcast. Cardona and Myers, they always talk about how a lot of people. I mean, granted, people always wear special outfits for Mania anyhow, but they've told people, make sure that you wear something special for Mania. Even if you're never going to wear those tights or trunks again, do it because there's a chance that you might get an elite based on that look. And honestly, I think AJ's attire from yesterday, the gray, looked awesome too. That was an awesome look.
That was.
As I said, like the guys I mentioned earlier, they had awesome look. Bianca yesterday, Sasha yesterday, all had really awesome looks for their attire.
Yes, I think New Day had an awesome look as well.
New Day did too. Yeah, New Day always goes out with their ring gear.
British Navy. I think it was like a very nice subtle theme going with the pirate ships and everything. But it went it flew under the radar a little bit. But I appreciated that. So if the New Day is listening to this, I see you, and I appreciate you.
Hell yeah. Pete mentioned this on yesterday's Cesaro's, and I brought up Seth Rollins. They both had really good gear. Damian Priest, he had really cool gear. I liked Miz and Morrison's too.
I think this is the most.
Miz and Morrison had really sweet gear.
The most coordinated they have looked.
Miz and Morrison?
Yeah. I mean, they've looked coordinated before, but this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Came out like they usually come out. Miz has his own thing, Morrison has his own thing going on, but this seemed, and maybe they came out together as well, but it seemed like a fit.
It helped that they came out together, and their jackets looked a little bit more the same than usual. They looked like they had a little bit more of the same designs on Morrison's pants as they did on Miz's trunks. Same colors. It looked great. Looking through the rest of the list here, Matt Riddle had really cool gear tonight too.
Matt was wearing white, or was it some sort of a bright color? Something in white and purple, wasn't it?
Matt Riddle?
Yeah. Or did I?
He had like the red and blue, like the sparkly red and blue ones on.
Thinking white and purple.
Entrances really weren't grand, but it kind of makes sense. It wasn't as scaled back obviously as last year.
Of course.
But next year I think they're going to go grand with the entrances again.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe, and not all the entrances being grand made the grand ones, which is granted there are two of them. Look great. I mean,
yes.
I mean, we're gonna talk about the first match in a few minutes, but that stuck out because nothing followed it that actually was on the same level.
No, because I'm looking at yesterday. Really, yesterday is the only ones that had anything like Mania entrancey was Bad Bunny and Miz and Morrison.
Yeah.
And tonight,
It's,
it was basically The Fiend
and you could say Rhea Ripley.
and The Fiend and Rhea Ripley and Apollo.
Big E. And Big E.
Or not Apollo, Big E.
Yeah. Honestly, both live entrances were not as good as you would expect, you know.
No, they weren't. They weren't bad. The entrances, but they didn't really add too much to it. But they weren't bad though.
No, they were not bad, but they were
the Fiends and
as explosive as you like. Rhea Ripley, I think, needed that mixed track to have that explosive feel to it. Wally, I don't know.
I agree.
I felt like Wally's performance, you know, it was there, it was happening, and then it was gone. I don't know. It felt a bit too short. Maybe the song is a little shorter. You know, by the time you're starting to get into it, it's over. That's
exactly. So that's the issue with a lot of live performance themes. It seems like though.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Fiend had a really cool entrance. Like he had that whole like almost like Mortal Kombat looking entrance where he kind of morphed.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And then Alexa Bliss was out there.
Yeah, first when they got that shot of his burned up look, I thought he was at the entranceway. I
did too.
Yeah, and then they zoomed out, and I'm like, whoa, that's a long tunnel inside the entranceway, and then whoa, that's not the entrance. But yeah,
and when they did the Jack in the Box, that was pretty awesome. Like
you never saw anything like this before.
Yeah, and also very rare for a Mania that the match starts to be like right before the bell, because you know the Fiend dives off
the box,
the Jack in the Box, and gives a clothesline to Orton. So that was also pretty unique for an entrance.
And
but you know the Fiend now has his old like it looks like the old one, but it's a little changed.
Yeah, it is a little. It looks more anime. If you would,
yes,
it looks more anime horror. It's like there was this part where he looked at the face and he looked like one of those velociraptors from Jurassic Park. It's the teeth. I don't know. The smile and the teeth like look more menacing, more toothy, more hungry.
They do.
And when the lights came back on at the end of the match, his eyes are freaking red now, not yellow.
Yeah.
It's I think it's subtle things, and you know there's the X's next to it, and if you look at the smile, the cut at the end is like there's an X on it, so there's like a vertical cut along with the horizontal. It's wow.
Yeah.
And he looked amazing physically too. Like he looked wow.
He did.
Oh boy, did he slim down or what?
He really did.
Yeah. Kudos to him. He took advantage of the whole thing, and I'm not sure what the flat jacket is all about, but
yeah, same here.
It looked a little militant, which I think it's different, but I don't know. Like it has to grow on me. That little part has to grow on me.
Same. That's always the thing with wrestling, though, is you always question what's going to happen, and then usually, like, you know, a couple weeks down the line, you get accustomed to it, and you're like, you know what, I do kind of like this one. It's because, like, I think, at least for me, it's when changed for wrestling, I think it always spawned with action figures, because it's like you'd have a figure based on like what they look like, and then by the time the figure came out and you got it, a lot of times they would change their ring gear, and you're like, oh, it's like, why'd they change their ring gear? This is what they look like right now.
Yeah, this is not current anymore.
Yeah. I think that's what stems from a lot of wrestling fans is, you know, especially when you're a kid, you think that's how wrestlers should look, and then, you know, just a little tweak just changes it. But it's a minor one, so, you know, it'll be different in a while. Plus, you know, he's gonna be getting obviously a new figure from it, so it pays for him.
They just released his Ultimate figure, and those are like So like now the is out of date, which a lot of the Ultimate figures are actually, you know, nostalgic.
They are, yes.
Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan, all of this.
Yes. Yeah, the Ultimates look really great, and I know he has. And I saw a picture. I'm not sure if it's the Ultimate as well. Does the Ultimate come with the Universal title?
It comes with but the Fiend version, the Fiend title.
I saw another one that comes with the blue title. I'm not sure if it's just an Elite or which one.
Yeah, there's two Elites of them, one with the jacket and one without. The one without comes with the lantern, not the title. I don't know if the one with the jacket comes with the Universal.
Yeah. Match itself, though, I was actually enjoying the match. I wanted it to be a squash for Bray, but I was enjoying the match.
Yeah, and it was.
But it got the. Yes, I didn't want it to be like a complete 1 minute squash. Like 5 minutes is roughly about the time Taker versus Kane was at 20. But as soon as I'm trying to figure out how also how they did the whole Alexa thing. If with all the fans in attendance,
I think she might.
How
she might have changed inside the box, like she snuck in the box once the
maybe
started, and then she just changed and used the platform to go up again. It's got to be it.
I'll have to ask Tony or Jared or somebody, see if they saw her go inside the box. I mean, kudos to them for doing it. I didn't hate how it ended. It's just very puzzling of why it happened.
I kind of did. To me, WrestleMania is about finality. It's more than most are, and this looks like finality. The ending, how that match or segment ended was like something you would see on Raw. It wasn't like.
It did, yes.
It did feel like a mania worthy. Like I'm gonna go with Alexa screwing him.
Yes.
And I think, especially with live fans in there, I think the people watching WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year, deserve more of an explanation, more of a an elaboration of what's happening. But we did not get that,
and honestly, the way Orton won. In Randy Orton's case, Randy Orton's basically done with this feud.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Fiend will still want to continue, but for Randy Orton, it's basically final for him. But it's just odd how it's going to continue.
I don't know if it's going to continue right now, but it's going to be the Fiend dealing with the betrayal
Alexa
that happened or whatever that was. He got put away with a single RKO with virtually no offense for it.
Yeah.
And I guess the idea is when Alexa appeared the way she did, he kind of lost focus, so his power got sapped, or something.
Maybe, yeah.
That's how we're putting it.
Did you notice he did? I don't want to say he was pandering. But he did more spacious stuff tonight. Like he was like when he did the foot tap in the corner, he did it more Colt Bray like, and then he kind of made like a sound to the crowd to kind of hype him up.
And when they zoomed in on his face during the match, not after, and he was looking straight at the camera, you could see his face moving under the mask, and he was kind of like Bray doing that too. He was more emotional. He was more ferocious.
Yes.
He was more, which I guess they're treating it like he's a feral animal now, which is not.
Yeah.
Thing. He is a beast, like the song says.
And I'm not writing off the angle. Like as I said, I didn't hate it. It just
out of place. It
just didn't seem like Mania for that moment.
It felt like Raw, and I think about 26,000 people who were there agree with us because there was an audible boo.
Yes.
The lights came back on and no one.
There was. If this was on Raw, like tomorrow night, I would have actually probably really loved it.
Yeah, you'd say we're building tension, seeing what's happening, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want more out of WrestleMania.
I'm not writing off the angle. Yes. I'm not writing off the angle. Still intrigued by it. It's just, and I know you and I both always say, a lot of fans crap on something they don't get the way they want. I don't think that's what we're doing here. I think it's just for the pageantry of Mania. It just didn't feel like the pageantry of Mania right here.
Because, for you and me, I think the sanctity of Mania means more than a lot of other things in wrestling or a lot of other things that WWE do. And preserving that sanctity, I think, is like, it's sacred. So Mania has to be sacred. It doesn't have to be, you don't put something that's felt like half-cooked on the dining table at WrestleMania. It's got to be, a fulfilling meal. And we did not get that. I'm not gonna lie. Because WrestleMania kept flowing, I got over it real quick, but I was disappointed. Like, once the lights came back on and there was no one there, I actually felt disappointed.
I was too.
I was like, ugh. Okay, we're off.
I want to have some sort of payoff.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought the show was going to go completely downhill after that. As I said, I didn't hate it. It just wasn't Mania-ish.
So what?
I'm still intrigued by the angle.
What do you think is happening? Let's say just play devil's advocate for this angle. Do you think Alexa is gaining her own consciousness back? Consciousness.
I didn't even think about that.
Or, hear me out here. Is it Sister
part of me was thinking that that's how I've kind of thought of this Alexa. Is she's pretty much inhabited by Sister Abigail?
I don't think that's what it was from the prequel. Because if you think about it, Sister Abigail probably freaking hates the Fiend because he took away the Bray Wyatt that she loves.
That is true.
So it could be that Sister Abigail has possessed Alexa now, getting her revenge.
That could be. Because whenever traditional Bray shows up, it's more or less of him being unleashed for something, like Cena and Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
And then the Fiend comes back in and retakes over, which he did also with Cena and with Braun Strowman.
And it's because the reason I say Abigail hates him because if you remember this, because this is one of the the Firefly Funhouse's most powerful moments in my opinion. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Abby the Witch is actually Sister Abigail in a puppet form. There was this episode where she was complaining about the noise, and he was teasing her, and she said, "Why won't you just let me rest?" And he said, "I will never let you go.
Yeah,
I'll never let you rest." So it tells you two things. First of all, I think Funhouse Bray is the most powerful entity in the whole Bray Wyatt scheme. He's more powerful than the Fiend. He's more powerful than Swamp Bray or Cult Bray or the classic. And he's more powerful than Sister Abigail. So it's like he's because he brings those characters forward whenever he wants to do that. And somehow he overpowered Abigail, trapped her in that doll. And I'm thinking now I might be wrong completely on this, but I'm just gonna shoot my shot for what I think this angle is. I'm thinking that somehow Abigail got loose from Abby the Witch, the puppet, and she has found a doorway into possessing Alexa Bliss, and that is her right there. And that's why when the Fiend saw Alexa in that garb, the Fiend kind of felt human, or felt like his power was going away.
I like that. Because Alexa also has 3 personalities right now. Also, she has regular Alexa. She has playground Alexa, and then there's like the evil Alexa who
shoot fireballs.
They only show every once in a while.
And
yes,
it scares the hell out
and
of me.
That version, yeah, which was still kind of odd.
Yeah,
but the one we saw tonight, granted, it looked like evil Alexa, but with her bleeding that way, it could very well be like a stigmata type thing of her being possessed by Sister Abigail. You might be onto something on that.
Yeah, and if I am, like, think about the original Alexa Bliss character. Poor girl, she is being possessed by 2 entities right now. That's
Whoa. Damn, yeah.
That seem to be at war with each other. So it's like if you remember,
which is coincidental. Go on your thoughts.
If you remember Supernatural, the end of season 4, when Sam got trapped in hell with Lucifer and Michael.
Yes. The original season, supposed series finale.
Yeah, the original saga, and
yes,
it was an end of season 4 or season 5, doesn't matter. Anyways, but
season 4.
Yeah. So and he came back. He was
5. Season 5.
Yeah, season 5. And he came back in 6, and he was like, his mind was like gone. He was traumatized to no end because he was locked in the cage with Michael and Lucifer going at it all the time. 24/7.
Yeah.
This might be what's happening in Alexa's head now. Now, if this whole thing that I'm saying is true, and Alexa actually ends up with her soul at the other side of this, will that be explored? Will that trauma be explored? I don't know, but I would love to see it.
I'd love to see it explored. And it's coincidental you said that. I actually had a dream last night with Alexa Bliss. This not like that.
Yeah. You knew the moment that word left your mouth, you're like, oh no.
I was living in a farmhouse, and Alexa Bliss was my next door neighbor, and she was possessed, and there were actual title. Anytime I have like a dream, like for many people they probably call them nightmares, but in my quote unquote nightmares, they usually have like title cards and credits. So like they're more like little movies.
So your nightmares are basically too many cooks.
Yes, yeah, and it was titled The Exorcist, so it was basically a remake of The Exorcist, and it had the same priest from The Exorcist. I was like, I had to tell him, I was like, my next door neighbor, Alexa Bliss, she's possessed. But instead of being like Reagan and Pazuzu, it was Alexa Bliss. But she shrunk down. She was little, and she was like karate chopping people, and just like it was like a weird karate version of The Exorcist with Alexa Bliss torturing me and these 2 priests.
Oh, that is great. I want to see that movie being made. It's kind of like it's kind of like a jokester demon, I guess.
Kind of, yeah. But what is cool though is this happens every once in a while with my dreams. I can sometimes go back into my dream if I wake up. I woke up and I drank some water and I fell back asleep and I was right back into the dream again. I was like, and then I woke up from that. I was like, yes, I got to finish the dream, but I can't remember how it finished.
Oh,
but
yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I hate it. But I was so happy that when I went back to sleep, the dream popped back in, so it was pretty cool.
You were like kind of mind strong about like that dream enough that you said, "I'm gonna go back and see what happens."
Yeah, yes. That happens quite a bit.
Yeah, me sometimes, but
like I wish it happened more often.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many times like I'll remember something when I first wake up, and then I'll forget it as soon as I actually get up.
Yeah. So
but
like
this one stuck with me.
I'm
I
gonna ask
loved
you,
it.
like at the time like that you woke up, went to get the snack and come back. During that time, did your mind by any chance play "Let's Go Out to the Lobby"?
It did not, but I coincidentally I do recall actually having a dream with that in there in the past week. No
my
joke,
God.
no joke, no joke.
You're getting.
I'm intrigued by this. Exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
This episode's really dived into a lot of like occult lore and everything.
Yeah. Discussing this with you right now, it made me actually look forward to the angle more. I might actually forgive that they left.
Yes.
That they served us an uncooked meal at WrestleMania. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I thought the show was kind of going to go downhill after that. The next match I thought might have been kind of a cluster, but it wasn't actually that bad. Mainly because I was really behind Natalia and Tamina.
Yeah. And they made you.
I granted.
And Natalia and Tamina made you believe that this might actually happen on this.
Yes, exactly. I was fully behind them to win it. The crowd was behind them to win it. And I'll admit I felt deflated when they didn't win, and I was like, it's like two things I wanted to see happen didn't happen. This is bad, but I don't want to say that about this match because I think they will be the ones to possibly get the victory over Nia and Shayna, but I think it would have been great to have it happen on WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it would have been a big moment. It would have been a great moment for the fans in there. Unfortunately, for those of you following us from the last podcast we did, we have reached out to Pete Guest for a comment about this match. He has not answered our calls until now, so it might be that we pissed him off. but yeah, the only thing that irked me to no end at this match is if Natalia is still entangled with Nia in that sharpshooter, you cannot call an ending to the match because someone is in there illegally. You gotta get Nia off her, get her out of the ring, and then call the end. Which
I think might be their call. I think it might be they're out. I think they're gonna use that on Friday.
I hope so. I hope so. If they use it, okay.
I hope they do.
If they're not gonna use it, then I know Jim Cornette refers to this as lazy booking, but you could have just made it a tornado tag, and why not? And this would have been a perfect finish then.
Yeah. Agreed.
But it's a good match. It was all in all, it was a good match.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Natalia was doing, I think, her best. She's never had really bad work, but I think she was doing her best work in here because when she was in the ring, she looked like a complete professional. Tamina looked like a powerhouse who could clear the house. Shayna was super smooth in this match, I thought.
I mean, an underrated thing about Shayna's run right now is she has managed to still be dominant while not being perceived as a threat.
Yes.
This way, when the matchup starts, you don't have the whole thing of Shayna's gonna kill this girl still, but as the match progresses, oh crap, Shayna is
exactly.
This girl. And that's an underrated aspect of how her evolution has happened since she came to the main roster. I think is that she adapted to her new role and still managed to appear as a threat. And honestly, like, I cannot wait to see Shayna in Swan Lake. I think she's gonna be the Black Swan, based on that pickup. But
I thought so too.
But wow, great job by all men. Nia was not bad in this match.
No, nah.
Saying something, but she needs to talk less because that King Kong line was not good.
Yeah, I agree. She comes off super annoying and forced when she talks.
Forced, yeah. Like, it's clear that I don't know. Did someone come up with this for you, or did you just, like, you've been thinking about putting that line in for like the past week or so? That's came up. It might have been a spur of the moment. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, I thought it felt that way also. Next match, I'm glad these two guys finally got themselves a one-on-one WrestleMania match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yes.
I know James brought up in chat earlier. What's that?
In my opinion, it should be their last match.
I agree. James brought up in chat earlier. These two, Kyle and Cole and Cesaro and Seth, all being like Ring of Honor matches, but especially Kyle and Cole having an intense Ring of Honor feud, and then on NXT, and these guys had an intense Ring of Honor feud.
Yeah. So Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole had a feud that spanned 3, maybe 4 promotions if you count PWG.
Yes.
So PWG.
Yes.
Granted, the genesis of the feud is in Ring of Honor, but it crossed over a little bit to PWG. Then it.
Yes, exactly.
And then it crossed over to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yes. They wrestled each other in the freaking Tokyo Dome.
Yes.
And then it came to NXT, so it's a saga in itself.
Yes.
And I know about sagas.
And both
about about the 4-match saga between The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H, between WrestleManias 28 and WrestleManias 25 and WrestleMania 28. I'm going to provide you with the links because we didn't record the plug device.
and folks, please do actually read it. And both matches, both feuds, were on takeovers and final battles, so that was awesome. I would love to see Cole and Kyle a few years down the line have themselves a WrestleMania match. I think they deserve it just like Kevin Owens and Sami do. And it was nice that Triple H brought Orange Cassidy on board tonight and had him in the corner of Sami Zayn. Yeah, nice touch.
Yeah. When did that guy's hair grow so long? How is so fast?
Yeah, it honestly, like legit Logan Paul, his hair did honestly look a lot longer than it did on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And it looks a lot darker too.
But maybe so one of his YouTube videos he did a freakish hair growth thing.
Maybe.
I have not seen a single.
But the match itself was pretty good.
Logan Paul, by the way. So.
I have not either. I've seen like a clip of him somebody had sent me, and I watched like 5 seconds of it. I was like, I don't care about this type of stuff. It's like no.
Like the stuff I read about him, I hate. Like the whole thing.
Yeah, same here.
With the Suicide Garden in Japan.
Suicide Garden.
When he declared
some flat Earth stuff.
Yeah, when he declared he's gonna go find the edge for the Earth. And honestly, shouldn't he be still on that search hunt by now? I mean,
should be.
If he found the edge, reveal it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so no one can.
Match itself was pretty good.
Words, we are not flat earthers. I'm sorry for all.
We are not.
I'm sorry for all the flat earthers fans we have out there, but we just don't believe.
Yes. For all of our Flip Gordon, Selena De La Renta fans who are listening, it's different.
Yeah.
Yes. Ace, whomever, I don't know. Austin Aries is probably going to send me or you a tweet about that now. over. So thank you,
hopefully-
Austin Aries.
Yeah.
Put us over.
Yeah. It will at least put someone over once in your life. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
that's not fair, but
It works.
But I keep going back to
The match itself was pretty good.
the match was good. It was. I did not expect Sami Zayn to get as much offense as he got in this match.
Neither did I, and I'm glad because old Sammy doesn't wrestle the same as face Sammy.
Yeah.
There's completely different styles, and it depends on the heart. Like, babyface Sami Zayn. Like I rewatched Sammy versus Knock Takeover because you were talking about it the other day, so I rewatched that. Actually, I think I rewatched it because you posted it. I think that's when I rewatched it, and he has a completely different vibe as a character and in the ring. Heel Sammy, I love Heel Sammy the character, but Heel Sammy the wrestler doesn't really feel like a wrestler. He feels more like almost like when Harvey Whippleman would win something. It almost kind of feels like that, and I don't want to say that in a negative way towards Sammy, but he just hasn't been portrayed as a wrestler's wrestler.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Miz syndrome, but he's not at that level of the Miz where he can get away with wrestling the way he wrestles.
Yes,
but it works for the character to an extent.
It does for the character. It does. I'm glad he finally got, in my opinion, his best match since, honestly, probably since him and Kevin Owens were a heel tag team on SmackDown.
So since WrestleMania 34.
Yeah, roughly about that time.
Yeah, I think because I don't think he did I don't think he wrestled as much after that.
Yeah,
because they did the whole.
He didn't because he
got injured.
He got injured and Owens got injured just a couple months after Mania.
Yeah, no, but post Mania Raw, WrestleMania 35 versus Finn Balor.
Yes.
Yeah, that might have been the last match that he was, the Sami Zayn of old. And
yes,
but it makes sense that you get flashes of that from here because the history these two has is so intense, so brutal, so everything that he might have awoken this monster inside Sammy again. Kevin Owens.
Yes. And also, I loved after the match Sammy's reaction where he just kind of left like he was fed up and had it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's still going to be the same Sammy, but he seemed more serious at the end.
He might.
So I'm intrigued to see where that goes.
I think he's going to escalate in some way, shape, or form. And honestly, my heart was set on Sammy winning this, but I have to admit Kevin Owens winning is better for the overall storyline.
It is.
And the feel-good moment because Kevin Owens winning would be would work as a catalyst of what will send Sammy over the edge. And
exactly. Plus, it always if Owens had lost, it would be another major loss for him, and I don't really know how he would rebound from that. Where for Sammy, it fits his current storyline, and the crowd. Logan Paul definitely is not Bad Bunny. The crowd was not having Logan Paul at all, and they loved when he got stunned at the end.
When he got that stunner.
Yeah.
And honestly, by looking at his performance at this WrestleMania, again, I don't know the guy, but how is he like such a big star? He's cringy.
Agreed.
He was very wooden, and this guy actually made movies. I think. And I'm glad. And based on what I see, I'm glad I didn't see any of them.
I remember. I'm gonna look it up while we're talking. But yeah, when they kept showing him at ringside, he honestly this also brought up the whole Orange Cassidy thing. He really looked like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, or he was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It felt like, I mean, like, on the bump, he felt like a fan.
Yeah.
But, like, out there, I think he didn't know, like, what to do when the camera cut to him. Because...
he was in the Valley Girl remake. That remake sucked.
Yeah. Wait, is that with Jessica Roth?
Yes.
Oh, that's how I knew he was in a movie, because I was looking up Jessica Roth on IMDb, and that came up, yeah.
Yes, yep. I was really intrigued by that remake, but yeah, it was quite cringe watching it.
How was he in it?
Honestly, I don't remember him in it.
Oh, so he wasn't like a lead character. Okay.
Not that I can recall. Looking at it on here, there's a few people down on the list of actors.
Yeah, I think
so I don't know. I don't remember him.
When YouTube was doing were on their original content, were in their original content phase with Cobra Kai, Step Up, High Water and stuff. They gave him a couple of movies to make or something because he's a big star. But yeah, he didn't know what to do when the camera cut him because, let's be honest, it's not entirely his fault. His role in the story was unclear.
Yeah. It really was.
Yeah. It's it's like we got Logan Paul for the sake of getting Logan Paul. It's we're not doing anything with him. He's just there.
Yeah.
So we can't lay the blame completely at his feet. He's just,
That's true.
Yeah, directionless.
Next up, we had the United States Championship. Sheamus and Matt Riddle. I had Sheamus going into this mainly because I feel towards SummerSlam he's going to drop it to either Damian Priest or Keith Lee. There's some strong up-and-coming baby faces on Raw who can chase Sheamus, whereas Matt Riddle basically just has Ali chasing him, which, as I said last week, I'd love to see Ali beat him. At the same time, I'm kind of glad because I personally would rather have babyface Ali win the title.
I want babyface Ali winning the title would have been awesome. It would be the bigger moment.
Yes.
Granted, heel Ali with the US title might be the better run with it.
It could be, but
then again,
still, it's just the thing that
Ali being US champion still and having a babyface run would still be awesome as well. I'm thinking about. I don't know if
you and I have been talking about that run for 3 years now.
Oh my god! Like you remember when he moved up from the cruiserweight division? We specifically wanted him to get that US title.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, this would mean a lot.
I still do.
Yeah, this would mean a lot. Granted, I don't think anyone looks at the US title as the US title in that light since the Rusev Cena feud. I think that's last time.
Yes, exactly.
It meant something like that. But now
just the name alone would do it.
Imagine like going into WrestleMania as a babyface and he cuts a promo about like how being the United States champion means the world to him because it's
exactly.
That.
Yeah, I think Damian Priest has a good chance of doing it. Keith Lee, I'm thinking Keith Lee's coming back tomorrow night. I think he's gonna be the
he looks prime. I mean, like he was in 2 watch-alongs this week, so
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be. Somebody's gonna get fed to him, Tozawa, Gulak, or somebody. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Keith Lee's coming back tomorrow.
I hope he.
There's two strong opponents.
Yeah, and there could be a case made for.
Plus, Sheamus is. Oh, I'm sure they'll have Sheamus and Riddle have another match because, especially after this one, like this was a great match.
Yeah, and
it was hard hitting.
And if you remember, Dime said that the match was sloppy, but I think it's the whole idea was like they were not trying to make a technical present a technical masterpiece.
Exactly.
It was a bowling shoe ugly match, as JR would say.
Yes, because you have Matt Riddle, who has kind of that unorthodox style. Mm-hmm. He's pretty loose, but he's also stiff at the same time. Then you have Sheamus looks like a guy who, honestly, if this was like the 1990s, you could see Sheamus in like All Japan. Like, he has that like Stan Hansen vibe to him. Vader, he looks like a guy who would go to Japan and have a great run, while also doing like WCW or whatever. Sheamus has that strong style, and they mesh well together. Because Riddle has a legit fighting background. Sheamus has a background in various different things, like his Celtic Warrior workouts. He's trained on sparring and different types of MMA and stuff on that.
I think he used to do some sort of a fighting thing before in Ireland before being signed by WWE.
Yes, yep.
I can't remember if it was bare knuckle or MMA or some sort of thing.
I can't remember either. I know he's talked about it in the past, though.
Bare knuckles was Wade Barrett, so I think he was doing something else, not that.
Yes. But when the way the match ended with the bro kick, when Riddle was midair, it was beautiful. Like, granted, if Riddle busted open like his lip or his gums or something, but like the way Matt Riddle's eyes and his face sold it, like he rolled on the ground and they showed that shot of him and his eyes just kind of rolled in the back of his head and his face looked kind of glossed over, and then he got the pinfall. I was so glad that was the pinfall. I was like, please don't kick out of this, because he sold it perfectly. But then. Yes, and then after the match, like, I was glad they showed Matt Riddle after the match, because he looked pissed. He looked like they might finally make him a serious wrestler, because he looked more like NXT Matt Riddle at the end.
Yeah, NXT or Evolve, like the laid back outside of the matches throughout Matt Riddle, but
yes,
the color in the ring. That's the Matt Riddle we wanted. That's the Matt Riddle that they could.
Yes.
So.
Exactly.
I didn't understand what when he was on the bump earlier today or last night. I didn't understand when he said like he wanted to be goofy. Is what he's doing now what he himself had in mind, or is it?
I didn't understand that either. A lot of his promo stuff on the bump, a lot of it seemed forced, like the RVD thing, like when he was really getting excited about it. But then, you could tell there was a genuinity there as well.
I was just going to say that it seemed forced, but you can still tell there's genuinity in there. Like, he was actually happy to see RVD. He was...
Yes.
And the way he talked the time that they first met, that like he was...
Yeah.
You can tell that's one of his fondest memories ever. And remember that?
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I wasn't quite sure what he meant by that either. He definitely was doing airheaded Matt Riddle on the bump, compared to like Evolve, like each badass Matt Riddle.
Yeah. This one was like laid back. Granted, the bump is a laid back environment where they just blur the line between kayfabe and work.
Yes.
Between reality and gimmicks, so it's so he's like more laid back, but you could tell beneath this whole thing there is a seriousness.
Exactly.
You talked about the match itself with Sheamus, the way you talked about what his plan is. There's a beneath that, and let's be honest, someone who can actually present himself as this goofy laid back package, but can still convey whatever it is he wants to convey in a clear manner, that's very smart.
Yeah.
That's not an idiot by any means. There's actually kind of a genius to it.
Thank you for joining us on the Outlaw Macho Drive-In. If you liked that video, please click like and subscribe to our channel for more content from the Drive-In. For full episodes of our podcast, you may look us up on Anchor, Spotify, or wherever your favorite podcasts are available. Just search for Outlaw Macho Drive-In. And if it's not too much trouble, would you help us out here? Spread the word, share. We would really appreciate it. Thank you. We love you. Bye.